Mail had his Yule Scepter, he was still struggling to get his treads. That's not really a recoverable position, because then it forced C-Deck to abandon their aggressive tri-lane. Like, that was actually going to do a really good job, because the Darkseer can beat the Tusk 1v1, they could put a lot of pressure on Fear, but as a result of that death mid by that Bloodseeker, they had to rotate both supports over just to make that lane okay.
Mm-hmm. So we're going to have a short break here, pass it on over to the analysts to see what they think about C-Deck's shot at a game number 2.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. Looks like EG is fairly content with that one. PPD with a slight grin there after the game was over. But let's talk about this game a little bit. In the beginning, it didn't look like EG was doing too hot, at least with the plan they came into, or at least the plan didn't seem very clear. But slowly but surely, they start getting the lead, and then they push through for the win. Tell us how that panned out.
I think the mid lane that they were focusing on quite a bit was a really big part of it. Shiki got completely destroyed by Sumail. I was looking at the CS a few minutes in. He did get the first blood, right? That's what we were talking about. The first blood was mid, because I didn't see that one.
I think so.
Yeah.
And he had like 15-7 CS against 2-1, which should never happen in any matchup generally, unless it's like super one-sided. But maybe Shiki, I don't know if he just had a bad game or if he's not very comfortable in Bloodseeker. He might have played it earlier in the tournament, but maybe a different matchup. Sumail, known to be a hyper-aggressive player. It's a hero that you can really abuse in the mid lane, the Bloodseeker. If you get ahead and he wants to get in for the last hit with Blood Rage on because he needs to get his health back, you catch him off guard with a stun, you blow him up with a combo, and maybe that's how he got the first blood. So that's a big part of it for me. In addition, it's something that's very hard to assess whenever you're watching a game with techies. You don't hear the team communication, so you don't know how... Like, you might feel like your hand is forced and that you have to play a completely different game in terms of movements, because when we looked at it from our perspective, it seemed like the techies didn't do that much.
Right.
But it's very difficult to measure. Like, how do they mentally feel like they have to? How do they move around the map? Do they feel like they can't farm here and there? Some of their cores didn't get so big. Maybe they would have farmed like 15-20% more if they weren't scared of mines. Who knows? So.
Right. There's definitely has kind of an outside factor, pressure, that you can't always assess just because there aren't kills or explosives going off all the time on the map.
There were two main things for me. Firstly was the Roshan control. The Roshan just died super easily. It was like either like a medallion plus a Clinks, or like a sigil plus Clinks, or Clinks plus mines. There was always something there that was Clinks plus something else, and they just got 3 straight Roshans in a row, and that really kind of pulled them ahead. And on top of that, they actually wanted C-Deck to pick BKB once I considered the draft as a whole, because they had so many anti-BKB things. They had Walrus Punch, they had a Blink on Tusk to stun lock him so he couldn't BKB, they had an Axe Lina, they had a Clinks with massive amounts